Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at today. What was that? That was weird. Kind of a uh, frog in my throat. Anyway, Tim Mix from Mix Aircraft Solutions. Um, I'm here on a Saturday, and I'm thinking while I'm working on this rudder, doing some sheet metal, um, I thought I'd share a cool tool with you. So I'm rebuilding a rudder, repairing a rudder for a Cessna 120. And new skins, new spar, new bell crank, keeping the rib, the nav light, the trim tab, and the hinge on the upper side, and the tip cap, and everything else is going to be new. So had some cracks in the spar, had some cracks in the skin. The guy wanted it rebuilt, so I'm rebuilding it for him. And I got most of it all drilled up. I have to do the trailing edge and locate the nav light stuff, but you kind of have to lock in solid the spar and all that stuff. So I just got it all drilled up to a number 30. These came out of the factory when they were spot welded, unless they were a seaplane version of the 120 or 140, usually the 140. And they riveted them together because everything was primed on the inside. So I don't have a spot welder, so I put them back together with MS20 470 84s and 83s. So yeah, it turns out to be like a brand new control surface because it's all new metal. But anyway, back to what I'm making the video for, so it's not too long. We got about 2 minutes going in here. So let me flip the camera around, and of course I'm doing this straight up again, so I'll have to keep it going that way. Otherwise, I found that my editing thing, if I tilt the camera, then I have to do something else to make it work, and I don't know how to edit videos just yet that well. Anyway, all right, let me flip you around. So here's the skin. It's all drilled up. I don't have any clecos in it. I took those all out. But I have to deburr. So what happens is when you drill these holes, you get a little bit of chips in between each one. And then, of course, there's a burr right on the edge of the hole on both sides. And then, of course, I'm match drilling it to the spar. And so I have all these holes in the spar. Well, you can use a Twizzler or a deburring tool on a handle and do that, or chuck one up in a drill and hit all the holes on the outside, but then you're left with the holes on the inside. So there's this neat little tool called a Cogsdil Deburring. It's an in and out is another name for it. So that you can see that blade right there. See if I can get it to focus. There we go. A little better. So that blade, when you put it in your drill, when you turn it and it goes round and round, it scrapes on the outside of the hole like that. And then it's spring loaded, so when you push it through, then the blade on the backside, when you go to pull it, it deburrs the hole on the inside. So up inside there, it gets rid of that little ridge. So this is set up where I can put it in my quick chuck. I used to do a lot of production stuff, so I had these rigged up to where I could pop them in and out of my drill real quick without using a chuck key. And you can see that. So on the inside of this, in this shank right here where my thumb is, there's a set screw and a spring. And the tighter you tighten the set screw, it puts tension on the spring, and it causes this blade to have a little bit more resistance to retract. Because as you can see, that blade retracts into the pilot there. See that? So if you're deburring some harder stuff, like let's say 7075 T6, you would want a little bit more tension on that spring so it would cut the burr. If you're doing soft material or really thin sheet metal like this is 061 or 0.016, sorry. So it's 16 thousandths here, 0.016. And then the spar is probably 25 or 32. You don't want it set too high. You just want it set so it goes in, you're able to push it through, and it comes out. So let me chuck it up in my drill. See, this is my drill that I use. I have a quick chuck. Let me see if I can. I need both hands to do it. So you pull this sleeve up right here, whoop, and this comes out. It has little balls that it goes into those holes there. Oh, shoot. And so this one, then you just slide it in there and make sure it's locked in. Now it's in the drill. However, you don't want to leave it in there unless your drill is secured, because otherwise, if you drop the drill on the floor, you'll bend the pilot. And these things here, you get them from usatco.com, I believe, US tool. And they're probably now, I don't know what the normal price is, but I'd probably see $60 maybe just for this one. And then there's 40 or 332 one that you can get, and they go all the way up to 1/2 inch. So I have a fairly good selection of them. The only one I don't have is a 40 because somebody broke it for me, and so all I have is the 30 up, and it's one of my tools that I cherish and use very carefully. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that it's a pretty cool tool for doing deburring. And then I'll show you. Let's flip around again. This is the one that I use for doing the outside. So it has, it's called a chatterless one. And it's 100 degree, so you can actually countersink with it if you wanted to. But it's kind of the same thing. You just chuck it up in the drill, and you just spin the drill at low RPM, and then you can go zip, 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 zip right down the hole on the line there. All the holes on the edge of the skin. Flip the skin over, do it again, do, and you're done. If you do it by hand, it takes you a month of Sundays to do it. So I try to get into production mode when I'm doing these so I can do it as quick as I can. And you could do it by hand if you wanted to with these. If you only had a couple holes, you don't have to chuck it up in the drill. But I think I got this guy from, it's a tool store online. It could be MSC, or there's another one. But you can get chatterless countersinks or deburrs, and they just have a bunch of blades instead of just having one or two. They got, 2, 4, 6 of them there. And these are 100 degrees. So you can actually, if you wanted to, do a suicide countersink. And countersink, like if you just had 1 or 2 holes, instead of breaking out the microstop, you can countersink a little bit and put a rivet in if it was a quick one. So anyway, that's all I got. Again, this is called, the industry term is called an in and out, or it's a Cogsdil, Cogsdil Deburring tool. And you can get them from usatco.com, I think is where I got mine. And then a chatterless countersink. And these are rigged up in a quick disconnect. They use these at Boeing. I'm not sure where to source these. Probably an aircraft tool place you can probably buy those at. So anyway, it makes quick work, so that way you can have a bunch of stuff chucked up. These are usually like a 1/4 inch. And so you can rig them up, and then you can swap them out real quick without having a chuck key. So anyway, that's the golden tip for Saturday for cool tools. I can't talk today. What the deal? Anyway, hope you're having a good weekend. Have a great day. and continue working on your whatever project you're working on and get her done. Cheers.